Welcome back, YouTube. Mike the Gambling Guy here to show you a very simple Baccarat strategy. And I mean it, this is a very simple Baccarat strategy. But I would also recommend that you're playing this online. You certainly could play it in a big brick and mortar casino. The only thing is you do a lot of sitting and waiting. And once you've got your seat at the table, it makes it kind of difficult because this one, you're not playing every hand. If you're doing it right, you're not playing that many hands and you're getting up and you're kind of hitting and running. So if you can do this online, that's actually what I'd recommend. You're probably going, well, I don't have an online account. Where would I play? Well, if you want to know where to play, just simply shoot me an email at mikethegamblingguy@gmail.com. I'll certainly share with you the site that I use and that I trust, and you can play there as well. You're going to find out this is a simple and very powerful strategy. It is called the no mirror Baccarat strategy. So if you're going, oh, what does that mean? That just means as we're looking at the bead road, which if you're tracking at a brick and mortar casino or online, they will all have a bead road. And I'll show you a couple of different examples of what that looks like. So this is actually called the main road or the long road here that you're going to see every result as it's going down. All these represent either a banker or a player, or green is a tie. So at this point, when I took the snapshot, we had 19 players as results, 14 bankers as results, and 4 ties. So let's look here at these two eights, right? These two eights are both blue. Well, these are mirroring each other. So what we're doing is seeing, does this spot mirror the one directly to its left? So in this case, it did. So I would have lost that bet. So the way the betting progression was, let's just start back at the very beginning. Because you won, you have to have one full column here before you can ever make a bet. So now coming in, my bet would have been on player here. So it came up a tie. So the nice thing about a tie in Baccarat is it didn't cost you a dime. You didn't lose your bet. They actually give you your money back. Say you can try again, which is much better than roulette when the ball shows up in the green 0 or the double green 0 and you're like, what happened? Where'd all my bets go? Yeah, that happened. It doesn't happen with Baccarat. So that is fantastic. Now, there are a couple different schools of thought. Some people, if you do your own tracking, right, then you could certainly say, well, I'm not even going to track putting in the ties, which is going to make this work. Well, it's going to work. I'm not going to say it's going to be as effective. I like the ties being in there because that is actually the energy in the game coming out in the game, and I don't have a problem with the ties being on my score sheet at all because if you watch any of my videos, I believe in the energy of the game because everything has a vibrational frequency. Even Baccarat, and I've certainly seen that to be true. But if you weren't tracking this, then your bet still would have been player, and that very next result would have been player, and then for this whole column, you were done betting. You're just a spectator at that point, or get up and leave. That's actually a great thing to do. One and done, baby. Get that hit and get out. But if you were sitting in this and went, okay, well I bet that I got a tie. I bet here for banker, I lost that. I bet here for player. It's a tie, so it didn't matter. Come down here because this is next to a tie. This is one you just sit out. You just skip it. Now, if you weren't tracking ties, well, you're going to have a different result because you are going to have something there to bet on because you're not tracking ties. But I do. I keep the ties out here. That's just a chance for me to, I guess, take a drink, right? If I need to take a breath, that's a good breath. Again, it's the energy coming out in the game. So then my next bet is for banker. I won that. Fantastic. So that was really my second bet that I had my money at risk because everything else, they'd given me my money back or I just sat out. So this next result, I'm actually not even playing. So I come up here to the top of this row and there's a tie. What do I do during a tie? That's right. Nothing. So I'm going to sit and watch. So I come down to the next bet would have been betting on banker. And because I was betting on banker, I lost because it came up player. Blue is player. When you're looking at the bead road. So next two, I'm sitting out again, sitting out watching. Spectator, because I'm just letting these go by. Some school of thought would say you can bet on the banker here because the banker does have a mathematical advantage over the player. However, so slight, but I prefer just to sit there and just wait it out. I mean, this is really going to be a game of patience anyway, because you can see we're not playing every hand. And then in this shoe, I bet on player, and then here we had a no mirror, right? Didn't match the one to the left. And this one we're sitting out. Same thing, come up to the top of the next one, we win immediately. Sitting out all of these as the results come rolling by. And now that I know my next bet is going to be a banker here. We can see I lost that. But now because if this is a banker, I want this to be a no mirror. So I bet player, won that. I'm sitting out all these. And now my next bet up here is banker, lost that. And now we're sitting here waiting for our next result, which is, that's right, we're betting on a banker. Sorry, I did not get the image of that one. But let's show you another example of another shoe. So here's another shoe, and this one does have a lot of ties in it. But as you go through, what do you not see? You don't see, and I didn't like go out and pick one and choose one or hunt and pick one that didn't have a bunch of mirrored images next to each other. So here we start off with a no mirror, so that would have been a win. So then I'd go to the next column. Well, this was a mirror, that was a loss. There's a mirror, that's a loss. It came down to the third one. Now I had a no mirror. The rest of that I am sitting out. No mirror here at the top. Won that one. So the rest of this doesn't matter. Now I lose the first bet, win the second bet. Rest of these don't matter. Top of the row. Now I won that bet and these don't matter. So my next bet would then be, when this shifts over, would be up top here. Right? But as you can see in there, there was never an opportunity that I was blowing up my bankroll. The furthest I got was 3 no mirrors. And you're probably going, well, what's your betting progression? And I'll get to that. I'm going to kind of get to that because I just did a video on that yesterday. So I'm actually going to point you to that video. If you stick around to the end, I did that one yesterday, which I call my armchair challenge, or how to be financially free in 31 days, I think is really what the title of it is. So here's another example that we would have went through, because we've got this up here at the top. It had a tie right off the bat. Then we wouldn't have bet here, of course, but we would have won here. Would have lost there, but we would have won there. Again, everything down here becomes mute as soon as you win the top of that column. So I'm not going back, like I'm not entering this shoe right now and I'm going, okay, well the hands here, if I'm doing my own tracking, I might as well just go back and track 6 here. You can, I don't recommend that. I recommend going with, again, the energy of the game, staying with the energy of the game and how it's presenting itself. And so here, first row, we won. This next one, lost that one, lost that one. We won on the third bet, right? Took 3 bets to get there. Lost there, won there. So quite a powerful connection. Now let's take it to the other screen. Now in my rooms, and you can see down here, I actually took this picture where the dealer had thrown the red card. The shuffle card was coming out because she was really at the end of the shoe, because there was 59 hands that had already been drawn here. 29 players, 20 bankers, and 10 ties. Wow, 10 ties. But they threw that, and I was like, I'm just going to get the picture while I've got that opportunity. And that's really all I was doing there. All right, so this is the black room of the same site that I play in. Now this one you can bet for as little as $1 in here. So here, just right off top, would have won that one, would have won that one, would have won that one. So there's already 3 bets that we had no mirror. No mirror, bet player, then I bet banker in the next column, bet player in that column. This one I lost this bet, won that again. Again, third. One on the first, one on the second. So all of those, the deepest I had gone was 3. And you see the setup is just a little bit different here in the black room. But the bets are also lower. So if you're only doing a $1, $2, $3, $4 bet, well, then you kind of have to do it here. The red room is a $5 bet and above. And I just like the way that it works. It also gives you some more time to actually get your bet placed. And I think it's better graphics when you win. It's just more of a fun room. Also, it's more fun when you tip, because they actually go... They'll actually call out your name. So if anybody's going, well, on this website, is that really is it really live? And I can tell you, absolutely it's live, because when I tip the dealer, they'll actually say my name and they'll thank me for the tip, and they take this little plastic chip and they go tap, 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 and the whole room claps. So it's really cool when they do that, and that way you absolutely know it's live. It's not a pre-recording that you're betting on. Why would they risk their business model on something that's pre-recorded? But I just want to make sure I got that out there. So showing you a nightmare hand, right, for this strategy. Not necessarily a nightmare hand, because if you had started in the strategy, you can see there's 20 players, 17 bankers, and so far 1 tie. It looks like the 1 tie came off at the very beginning. So we sat here and we watched. Of course, we wouldn't have played this first hand. We would have won here, right? We'd have won here. We also would have won here in the second column. But then after that, I've never seen something that had just gone into a mirror pattern so strong. So you've got 6, 12, you get 13 mirrors here altogether, right? And what would that have done in our strategy? That would have taken the bankroll for one leg of our strategy, right? Because once we go down really 6 bets within my money management strategy, then you'd be done, right? But as far as look at the streaks, maybe when they say, the streak is your friend, look at the streak. In every one of these columns, so you can see just here, this is just the chop that had just gone on for a bunch of columns. I'm guessing probably 13 or so before it actually had broken back based on what we were seeing there. But in every one of these derived roads, and I've got videos that also talk about how to read the derived roads, because these don't mean banker and player. They actually mean something a little bit different. It's chaos and anticipated outcome that you're looking for down here. But all these were just on this awesome streak. If you were playing this or playing any one of the derived roads, you'd have been killing it, right? You'd have been killing it. But here, this is actually the knife that we didn't want to see, because this is the rarity. This doesn't happen too often. So again, a very simple Baccarat strategy. Literally, you can sit there making 1, 2, 3 bets. So how do you actually do the money management with this? Well, if you go ahead and click on the link here that I've got on the screen, that'll take you to a video that'll describe what the money management strategy that I would recommend by playing this very simple strategy of the no mirror. And if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up, and I'd appreciate if you smash that subscribe button. We're really looking at growing this channel. And we're also going to be living through the month of May. I'm actually going to be playing this every day, and I'm hopefully I'm able to get a video out about every day, minus the few days I'm going to be taking to be on a beach vacation, but that's going to happen there somewhere. So again, feel free to shoot me an email at MikeTheGamblingGuy@gmail.com. This is Mike the Gambling Guy. I'm out.